يا حبيبي يا عيني يا عيني يا ليلي يا مسهر عيني بنهاري وليلي يا حبيبي يا عيني يا عيني يا ليلي يا مسهر عيني بنهاري وليلي والقهوة يا معلمة على عيني
يا معلم
حبايبنا يا معلمة
على راسي يا معلم
والشيشة يا معلمة
على عيني يا معلم
القهوة يا معلمة
على راسي يا معلم.
Hi, welcome to Cooking with Mimi and you. Today I'm going to show you how I make my very famous smoked brisket when I used to be a chef at Legal Beans. However, as we all know, not everybody can have or you want to use a smoker. So I'll share with you a secret on how you can get the same smoke effect using an oven. So usually when I make my smoked brisket, I start by selecting a really good cut of the brisket. When you buy it at a commercial level, you have the option of getting the nose on or the nose off. Nose off is better, especially for us amateurs in the kitchen, because it cooks evenly. You see the depth of the meat, it's equal. So what you do is when you cook it for X amount of time, this part will cook as evenly as this. So we start with the good meat, and I've been doing this for the last 10 years. I also cook to the cleanest and healthiest way I could possibly do. And with all of this in here, it's been packaged with all the FDA requirements, but I take it a step further to ensure that my family and my friends who are eating all the foods I'm cooking is the healthiest and definitely the tastiest. For the past 10 years, I've been partnering with my Kangen ionizer in trying to cook healthy as well as tasty. So I start by washing either my meat, my vegetable, my fruit in Kangen water. I select the pH 9.5 because it's great in removing all kinds of pesticides, and also any bacteria, viruses cannot survive. And I'm really sure that the meat is cleaned to the best I could possibly do without using soap. That's the beauty of using Kangen 9.5. So as the water's getting filled here, this is the brisket that we have selected. Now I'm gonna do a first quick soak to make sure that it's really clean. That's our first wash. We need to throw the water, get more water. Then I let it sit there for a while. Putting it in pH 9.5 also tenderizes the meat a little bit. Kind of denatures the protein. So all the rubs and seasonings we put in it is definitely gonna be infused with the meat and improve the taste. That's what I mean by using an ionizer and a Kangen 9.5 water. Not only does it promote really clean and healthy meat, but also very tasty. So now, this is where the creative part of being a chef really comes into place. You get to pick your favorite flavors and spices that you would like to incorporate in your rub. For me, I've been using dried peppers a lot in this rub, and I use the fresh ones. I buy them already dried. This is a dried guajillo. And then this is a dried chipotle. This is what gives the kick into our rub. Some dried, round, sweet cherry peppers. And this is dried tree peppers, they call it. Tri arbol is what, because most of these dried peppers are from Mexico. See this redness here? This is what brings in the color of our meat. This is paprika. It's really dark red because this specific batch came from Morocco. Some powdered garlic and beautiful, really fresh cumin. This is an exception, guys, because I got this from Morocco as well. Again, this is really fresh smelling oregano, even if it's dry, because we just picked this up on our trip to Morocco. This is what it would look like fresh. Really, really beautiful aroma. Even from where I stand, I can smell it. Wow, that's fresh oregano. And here's the secret from Mimi to you. Anytime you use dried spices as part of your ingredient, especially for a rub where you need to grind it to get and pull out all its essence, I first take the dried peppers and put them in the oven. This way, the light temperature of about 200 to 250 degrees, it kills all the bacteria and germs, because we obviously don't know how and where it was dried. And when you take it out after 10 minutes, it's nice and toasty and very easy to crumble in your food processor, guaranteeing you a thorough flavor infusion of all your dried spices. And what we have here now is our wonderful creation of all the different spices that we have ground. And it doesn't have to be of same consistency in terms of being ground, but basically it's all in here. You can tell it's been evenly mixed. See that nice sandy grain? They always say everything you do it with love, comes out tasting better. So I patiently sprinkle this around and get all the surface of this meat. And you remember, put the fatty side up. That way it serves to self-baste itself. So as we put all this wonderful rub mixture, the goal is not to see anything white. And like I said, this is my favorite part of cooking. I get to massage my meat. I make sure that all the rub that we had sprinkled over it is totally stuck, incorporated, and into our meat. So when it starts to cook and the fat starts to come out, it kind of self-bastes our meat, and all the flavors thoroughly soaked in at every part of this meat. And here's a tip from Mimi to you. Anytime you buy a roasting meat from your butcher, it should always have a very thin layer, or sometimes they have a thick layer of fat. That tells you that should be the side up. So you put all your marinade, your rub onto the fat, because the idea is as soon as it cooks and the fat turns into oil, it sort of self-bastes itself. So all the flavors is incorporated in all your meat. So now we have our almost final product here. Food prep coming to an end. This is the brisket. We put our lovingly put our rub on, and I use a Reynolds oven bag. This way it cooks evenly without losing any of its juices. So it stays very tender and moist, as well as flavorful. And now put it in the oven. Bake it in for 300 degrees for 3 hours. And since we already have our oven going for the brisket, a really good add-on, especially now with the summer months and all the fresh root crop in season, my favorite, beets. Very easy to prepare as a second dish. Just wash it, wrap it up in aluminum foil. Done. For tonight with our brisket, we decided to have some oven roasted Brussels sprouts. Cut it in half. So when we put our seasoning, it gets absorbed totally by the Brussels sprouts, and it goes there for our Kangen water 9.5 rinse.
Cut it, 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 cut it.
Spread it evenly. And what I do is I quickly turn them down so that all the seasoning, the balsamic vinegar that we're gonna put over it is gonna get absorbed, soaked, and totally fill this little crevices of the Brussels sprouts. We have some salt here. Just spray some of this salt. Very little, keep it healthy. A little bit of the pepper. This is organic, freshly squeezed, fresh, first press olive oil. The key to using olive oil, especially if we're gonna use it just for flavor, is to just use it sparingly for cooking. And once we take it out, we add a little bit more. And some aged balsamic vinegar. I'm gonna use quite a bit because my goal is, as it's cooking, all of this vinegar that you see being poured here and floating, it will evaporate and we will have a beautiful reduction of our balsamic vinegar. You'll just be left with the sweetness of the vinegar. This Brussels sprout dish is very simple, very easy to make with any kind of meat that you might be cooking in your oven or roasting in your oven. And I'm telling you, all those non-Brussels sprouts lover, you'll definitely convert. You'll see the brownness from the reduced balsamic vinegar. And as you bite into it, you'll hear the crispiness of the individual leaves. But the heart of the Brussels sprouts that we cut in half, you'll taste the sweetness of the reduced balsamic vinegar. Unbelievable. The chip spot comes from these loose leaves. They're crispy. You'll hear them. Texture, taste, flavor, wonderful. Wow. It's totally done. I can smell it. See the air in there? That tells me that all the juice are still in there. And this means it's very tender and definitely very flavorful. This is the beauty of using an oven roasting bag. When you open it, you still smell all the spices that went into our rub. The sweet chili, the dried chipotle peppers, and the guajillo. And take a look. This is how you can tell all the moist, the flavors and the juice are there. See how shaky the meat is? Wonderful. I would pull it with my fingers, but this is really hot. But you just see it. Here's a good look into our meat. It just, not much effort, pulls apart. You'll see the redness of our paprika soaked in the meat. That's how you know that rub that we did, that we took extra care and time in making sure it got incorporated in the fat. There it is. See the redness of the meat on the top? Yummy. Now who would like to eat now? So now we have allowed to have our brisket rest this way. It's easier to cut, and you can see how soft and tender and juicy this brisket is. You don't have to put too much effort in slicing this very thin piece of brisket. I'm trying to go easy so it doesn't fall apart because it's really very soft. Here it comes. Look at this beautiful strip of brisket. Incredible. Look at that. Look at that. Pulls apart. So tender. And this is one of the benefits of having it in a bag. All the juices are preserved. Flavor, the rub, and I roll it in there, savor it, and now the best part, I get to taste it. Oh, just amazing. So tender. And this is the beets that we cooked together with our brisket. Open it. And there's, really good. One of the advantage when you roast beets with its skin, once again, you keep all the moisture inside. When you boil it, you take all the flavors. This one, all the sweetness, everything's in there. Once again, thank you for following Cooking with Mimi and You. We have a beautiful meal here in a very short time, and this would have taken hours of smoking. You reduce the time without sacrificing flavor and a wonderful meal for your family. Brussels sprouts, beets, and brisket, all cooking, roasting in the oven at the same time.